Boom!
You froze. We are off with another episode of Booze Your Daddy, the podcast. I'm not a doctor, but I am Zach Elias, here with a schmuck who's frozen in a pig shirt. This fucking guy.
Here
And
we go.
we're back.
I don't hear anything.
I just crushed the intro, just out of the park, Alonzo style. Like your boy
Boom!
George can't
We're
do.
off! Boom! We're off with another episode of Booze Your Daddy, the podcast.
Done.
I'm your host, Dr. Alan Snyder, here with my boy, keeping the MyPillow guy alive and in business. It's Zach Elias. What's up, buddy?
I sure am. And you know what's gonna be? I just crushed the open, and you're gonna edit me out for the Saturday.
I'll leave it in if you want.
Yeah, you leave it. You do it if you want.
I think that's the best part of this live thing. That's the first time that everything got all fatoots. My headphone fell off. Immediately.
The bomb went off.
Booze Your Daddy, the podcast. Tuesdays, we do it live. Saturdays, we post it later. People who are watching this live, we got a couple people now, including my mother, supposed to be live for the first time ever.
Wow. Big fan. My mother couldn't care less. My mom's probably watching Judge right now.
Judy or Judith?
Either.
Or Steve Harvey?
The best.
We got a fun one planned for today. Zach, I can't wait. I have a topic that it almost like was the top of the show, but we'll get to it later.
What the shirt's about? Is it about the pigs in New Zealand that are running rampant?
No, but you can talk about that as you see fit.
I like them.
Episode 148, calling this one Cleanup. What does that make you think of when I say that?
Clean up aisle 6.
I worked at a grocery store and I had to do that.
I don't know. Yeah.
I've definitely cleaned up many a poop.
Clean up. I don't know.
Everybody, everywhere.
What?
Zach, why don't you tell everybody what we are drinking for tonight's episode?
We, and so as you see, our Menzies are synced, are drinking from the Bright Path Brewing Company Switchback Sessions Hazy IPA. This is going to be so bad. I almost consider having a personal side beer. It is juicy, hazy, and citrusy. 5%, which isn't so bad. And it's from Jim Thorpe, Pennsylvania. Apparently, they really lean into him there. Like, the guy is on everything.
Gun to my head, couldn't tell you a single thing about Jim Thorpe.
He was in the Native American, good at the lacrosse, and like the fastest man alive at one point, I think.
Are you thinking of Jim Brown?
Him too. No, Jim Thorpe. Jim Brown was not Native American or Indian, or whatever you called him back then. And then that's where he was from. They named the town for him. He was the greatest athlete in the country back then.
I think this is going to be better than you think because it's a session, means it's lower alcohol. Zacharias, release the Kraken.
It's not the alcohol I'm worried about. I'd rather drink rubbing alcohol. The rest of it's a loud pop.
Oh, it's not bad. I could drink 6 of these.
I could not.
Episode
this one, but I couldn't drink 6 of these.
148. I'm calling this one Cleanup just as a getting into the show because I have a couple of topics that are
clear. It's like hard seltzer. It's wine.
White clear bullshit. Alky bullshit.
It's a clear bullshit.
So, Zach, I had this past weekend, my new kickboxing school that I've been a part of, and I haven't really told you much about, not that you know or care.
But
they needed people to come volunteer to help do like a fall cleaning. Cleaning is my least favorite chore in the world.
How the fuck did you volunteer? I volunteer to move the goals in the softball games. I don't volunteer for the horror. I don't volunteer for shit. Whenever they ask for a volunteer, I go the other way.
I'm the new guy. I'm like paying my dues where you don't know anybody. It's like when you're a new kid in town.
You're also literally paying your dues. You check clears. You don't have to volunteer for shit.
It's half the price of my last gym. I have no problem giving them a little bit of a Sunday afternoon.
Then you tip them. You send some money to Korea or some charity that they want.
North or south?
Whatever they're teaching you. What is the martial art of North Korea?
Suicide? I have no idea.
Fucking anything.
I just know it was something I wanted to go help out. I'm the new guy here. It's like, new in the building. Might as well go try to help out with them. So I did that, which it made me think about chores and whatnot. Zach, we all know how lazy you are and how your wife does the majority of everything in your life.
Yeah.
What is your chore of choice in the house?
Being married to her.
Hey-o!
My chore of choice, I do vacuum usually. Like, she doesn't like to vacuum. I tend to change the cat, scoop the cat's shit more often than anybody. Somehow, I didn't notice. I never replace the toothpaste because I'm a undefeated toothpaste chicken. That's about it. I get yelled at for not putting my dishes into the dishwasher, yet I don't know how to run the dishwasher. There's a lot of buttons. It's a melee. Things like a fucking rocket ship. You need those guys from NASA who shot the thing at the asteroid and knocked it all killed.
Why didn't we know about that before it happened? I would have gladly watched that.
Oh yeah, but the screen just went to red. But I would have loved to have watched that.
The amount of times that there's an eclipse and people buy the boxes with the hole and they stand out there with all the Chazarai, and you're like, this is insane. But at the same time, I'm going, if you could have let me watch live in any way, shape, or form.
Sign me up. I'm taking a day off from work.
I had a patient today. He had this massive telescope. And I looked at it, I go, is this for watching people bang in other people's houses? He goes, no, it's for looking at the stars. I go, did you watch the DART? Because that was the acronym they used for last night. Double asteroid something something. And he goes, no, I didn't know about it. And I'm like, neither did
just watching people show up instead. Like, good, fine.
I legit went to a house party one time in Manhattan on the 49th floor or something, and a real rich finance bro had one of those. I look at him and I go, I don't think you can see the stars. He goes, no, I'm looking at other people's apartments. I was like, okay. And he said it very, very matter of fact.
So how was the show?
No, not a chance. But getting back to my kickboxing gym, the other day, we show up at 6, and the little kids at 5. And the gym, they don't charge a lot. So they get a lot of poor people that don't make a lot of money in the area that show up. I'm totally passing judgment here. And there are...
With you and Kimbo Slice?
Dead.
No, deceased, yes.
There's a ton of little, let's call them Central or South American of descent. Like, what's the nicest PC way of saying, like, they clearly are from that area of the world?
Port-au-Princes? I don't know.
Very good. Two younger brothers. I'm sorry. There was
brothers?
No.
Or brothers.
One of the little kids in class, his family's there. He has a younger brother and a younger sister. And you know how sometimes the kids leave the house with like a toy, like a bear, or maybe your daughter would have a hippopotamus. We all know how she loves that thing. She doesn't shut up about it.
Hippopotamus? She doesn't shut up about it. She threw up on it last night, and I had to clean it at 12:30 in the morning. I said, I'll fucking kill her. Yeah, Jenna was asleep.
You don't have a second one?
We've got a million. Which one? That one?
No. You need 2 of the same one so you can do the old switcheroo.
Yeah, the switcheroo doesn't work because they're like now a different shade. She's like, we didn't do the switcheroo early enough, so she's hip to the fact we have like 8 of the other ones. But nevertheless,
would you say she's hippopotamus to it?
I would not. 12:30. I hear. I go in
from your room or from her room.
Her room. Jenna's asleep. She's booting all over the place in her room.
Booting.
Yeah, so now I have to deal. Now, you want my chore? That. Any incident or foible that happens after 11:30 at night is my chore. I'm on. It's go time. So when she boots, so I had to clean it and deal, and clean Hippo and like clean her up, and then she's up in our room where she's 4,000 degrees. It's a
easy
heat seeker.
So these kids at my kickboxing gym the other day, they're the younger siblings. They have a little toy. Do you know what they each brought to the gym? You'll never get it.
I don't know.
A toy broom and a toy mop. As a parent, how do you let these kids do that?
Zoe actually had a toy cleaning kit, and I asked her, like, what is this for?
Sure.
Real arts?
Exactly, but like...
Why would she need that?
Zach, would you ever let your daughter bring like one of those old-time cash registers and be like, sorry, just doing taxes here. Don't mind me, darling.
Yeah, one of those little clippy things with the coins.
With the poker hat.
Yeah, pretty much. No, I wouldn't let her bring anything's a stereotype. I wouldn't let her bring...
I lost it. I get there. I see these little kids.
Striped pajamas with a star. Like, come on.
I lost it, Zach. I was looking at these kids like, you guys helping out on Sunday? Or is this just... I couldn't believe it. But
next week will be a rake. Season's changing.
Last thing as far as cleaning up. Is there a bigger insult in the world when somebody goes, you clean up nice? Because they're basically telling you, you look like crap every other day.
I hate when people say that. I hate when you go, oh, you look nice today. Oh, so I look bad every other day?
I say that.
Every asshole that says that, he should just kills your compliment. What a dick. And you know what? Next time I say it to you and you say, look bad every other day, yeah, you do. 364, you look like that. You look good today. That kind of thing. No, why can't someone just be all for pits the next time say you look nice? What kind of world is
we're
this?
not that nice. Nobody gives compliments.
Why can't we tell people they look nice anymore? hate this new world.
Because the guy from the Celtics, the head coach, did that, and now he's not coaching this year.
Yeah, he did. Ridiculous.
So
if it was consensual, why isn't he coaching? You can't have relations. The office relation is how like 80% of people meet. He's a single guy.
Not now.
What? Fine.
Yeah, do you know who his fiance was?
I have no idea.
The hot black girl from Fresh Prince. Not the sister, but like Will's fiance at the end of it.
I'm sorry. I don't know this color. The attractive girl.
The attractive young lady.
I got you. The hot black girl. We'll get to hot and celebrity couples in about 2 seconds on my list. It's gotta be on yours as well.
I don't know if it is, but finishing up at my gym, I go in there.
Sounds always endless.
Well, keep interrupting, you fuck. I go in there the other day, and I generally don't talk to anybody. I just kind of go in, do my exercise, and leave. And so now I'm there on like a Sunday, and the guy who runs the place, he starts talking to me, and we're going back and forth, and I'm being relatively jovial, and he goes, I follow him on Instagram now just to kind of see what's going on, be supportive. And he goes, so what's your podcast about? I look at him, I go, just two guys about nothing, just being assholes. And he looks at me, he goes, oh, so it's like, I said, it's like comedy, like it's funny. And he gives me this look of, you're not a funny person. Like his eyes would look at me like I tell him, I go, look, man, I've been told I have a little bit of a fuck you resting face. He goes, yeah, it's what I was kind of thinking.
It's like the Man Show, but we're not going to hit yet.
It's like two Jews complaining about nothing.
Yeah, and apparently that didn't land at your bachelor party with these snowflake Jews, All
right, Zach, the floor is yours, sir. You have something 10 minutes into the show you want to talk about.
Well, you wanted celebrity hot gossip.
Did I?
I don't know. We talked about... Did you hear that Scottie Pippen's ex-wife is stupping Michael Jordan's son?
This old news. She's stupping after the NBA. Where have you been?
Michael Jordan's son? That's perverse.
This is not public knowledge, but were you at the bachelor party table where people were talking about like somebody they know who's hooked up with a celebrity or something? And I forget who said it, but they go,
Brakeman.
That wasn't at my bachelor party, but at mine, somebody goes, oh, well, so-and-so's college friend slept with Michael Jordan. I went, that's something to write home about.
There it is.
Yeah.
Recently? That's pretty good.
Yeah, somewhat recently. Well, so yeah, not like when he was in high school, but like after he's won 6 rings.
That's pretty good.
I was like, that might take the cake.
So wait, Pippen's wife and Jordan's son is old news?
I don't know if them specifically, but she's been going through
she's a hula. That I know. But come on, that's a lot. That's a lot to take in if you're either. I'm sure. I don't know. Jordan's son, Pippen's wife. That seems wrong. They're teammates.
So let's segue then, because we'll keep on what you're talking about. This past week of Atlanta, something came up in the show. Now, I'll just be honest, Zach. When I really like the show Atlanta, but I would say about 75% of it, I'm not quite sure what's happening. I mean, it's giving me all the haircut, and it's getting close, but. Something came up that I just stopped and I went, wait, what? Because I also listened to like a recap podcast where
the Urban Dictionaries and things they say.
No, I have to go to a podcast where 2 nice gentlemen from Atlanta recap and explain things because I'm going, I don't get this at all. But something happened that completely it baffled me. And this one I actually did get. At one point, they offer Donald Glover's character a bottle of Dasani water, and he just rolls his eyes and goes, of course. And on my podcast I listened to, they're like, can you believe they offered him some whack-ass Dasani water?
Is that because it's owned by Coca-Cola, which is in Atlanta?
They said it tastes terrible.
It does taste terrible, but who gives a shit?
Wait, so you're in on Dasani tastes terrible?
It's not as good as, honestly, it's not as good as Poland Spring, which is just filtered water from Jersey.
So if you read the description of the show on YouTube or whatever, I picked a random one. Poland Spring versus Dasani. You're saying Poland Spring... Absolutely.
Yeah.
I can't tell the difference, and I don't think you can either.
I think that Dasani, you can taste the plastic more.
Kick in the dick?
Maybe.
Yeah?
I think so. But what happens if I get it? Either way, Rochambeau?
No. 50-50.
50-50.
I mean, you have a 50-50 chance of anything at that point.
Yeah.
No, if you can tell it apart,
wits.
I would do, you know what I would do? I'll line up 10 Wooders, and I'll put Poland Spring in 9 of them, and Dasani in 1, and I will flat out go, If you get the
I'll
Dasani,
be mindful of it. You gotta give me the bottle because part of it is tasting. You can't put it in a cup. You
no,
taste the.
the bottles are different, man.
Well, fine. That's the thing. You can taste the Dasani.
Okay, how about this? I get to hold the bottle and pour it into your mouth.
Oh my god! Yes.
Yes. 9,
sure.
and we're kicking the dick.
No, I gotta find the one. Is almost impossible.
Why? How's it possible? What do you want? 1 out of 5?
It's
1 out of 5? 1 out of 5?
1 out of 2.
No, 1 out of 2. It's 50-50. You kick me in the nuts.
I'm gonna get it right. All right, 1 out of 3. 3-card Monty.
We'll think about it.
Think about it.
All right, you got anything more?
Oh yeah, well, I mean, apparently, all hell's breaking loose down under. A woman was apparently struck by a roller coaster, and she's in a coma, and it's big news. The only reason it's big news is because she's cute. I swear to God,
probably.
Show. You see her? Do you hear about that?
No, I have no idea what you're talking about.
And then more.
When you said thunder down under, I assumed you had like gonorrhea or something.
I do, but also down under in Wellington, New Zealand, it is being taken over by pigs. Feral pigs are now in control. They're like eating all the livestock. They're just roaming the streets. They're going to postpone an election potentially. They're in control.
So we have this problem here, and people who find it cruel that there's hunting and whatnot, but apparently, like in Texas, you can go on a plane and with a gun just go kill pigs, and whether you keep them or not,
awful.
It's awful. Except this is the reason because
like the Vietnam plane with a big gun.
Yeah, with CCR playing in the background.
That's pretty cool.
But the truth is there actually is a pig issue in Texas that they have to do this.
Well, they need to get that plane, that gun guy in New
Zealand. There's no guns in Australia.
Well, then they can get the blow dart. They got a lot of them.
You know, I just made a joke. I actually had this on my list. When are you going to admit you have long COVID? You've been coughing on this podcast for 4 weeks.
Yeah, long COVID. Just because I test negative, it doesn't mean I don't have it. I knew I had it. She tells me I didn't have it, and so did that fakakta test. Oh, long hauler.
Speaking
Absolutely.
of testing negative, I heard a real corny joke. I heard this corny joke, and it made me giggle. It was
chortle.
A priest, a minister, and a rabbit walk into a bar.
Mm-hmm.
And the rabbit goes, "I think I'm a typo."
That's terrible.
I didn't make copy. I thought it was so funny. The actual joke is they walk in to donate blood, and he's a typo. But it's not as good.
No, it's better. The bar is better.
The bar is better, yeah. But the actual joke is type. But neither of them do anything for you.
Well, what was the second one? A priest, a minister, and
a priest, a minister, and a rabbit going to donate blood, and the rabbit goes, "I think I'm a typo."
No, the bar is better.
The bar is better, right? But you also hate the bar joke as well.
I don't love it. It's not nearly as good as Lexi Man walks into a bra. Best joke ever written.
It's like dog is my co-pilot.
No, Lexi Man walks into a bra is much better than that. And just the delightfulness of the Jimmy G running out of the end zone and the butt punt. But
you know, the Jimmy G back of the end
doesn't happen more often.
I'm surprised the Jimmy G end zone thing. It wasn't like Orlovsky, who was running for his life out of bounds.
You see, the funniest part of the whole thing is that the next day I was off, so I was watching ESPN half the day, and he was on, just getting tooled on by everyone. They just kept showing him doing it on loop, and he's just getting roasted. I'm surprised both don't happen more. And by the way, I'll correct it, maybe it was worse because I was there, but the butt fumble was so much worse than any of that. The butt punt happens, and they won the game. The butt fumble was just the cherry on top of a horrible half hour of football where the Jets just, pick six, touchdown, butt fumble, touchdown.
Speaking of cherries, let's segue to apples. Zach, today is the second day of Shana Told Ya.
Yeah.
Come on. Tell me you didn't think that was funny.
Shana Told You?
Like, Julia tries to be silly. It was just one of those. I was like,
she said that. It was cute.
It was Shana Tova, and Julia goes, "Shana told you."
It's not bad.
It made me laugh.
Ooh, that should be like an advice columnist, like Shana told you.
Patent pending.
Ooh, we should do it.
We should do it.
But like, you think it's a girl, like Dear Abby, but it's us.
We would be so good at it. Is this before or after our movie reviews?
During. All of it.
I was going to do Rosh Hashanah trivia for you. I couldn't find anything good other than, did you know that Rosh Hashanah appears 0 times in the Torah?
Yeah, I could believe that.
0?
They're telling fakakta stories. A guy gets eaten by a whale and then comes out alive. They're making it up as they go. We don't need New Year's.
All right, Zach, best thing that happened to me today that I have to tell you about. I have a new patient who unfortunately had something happen and they had to amputate his left leg. Most of it, at least.
Best thing happened to you?
So I go in there and, of course you have to be, this guy is, I don't know, a week removed, maybe 2 weeks removed from losing his leg. So naturally I turn the humor down a lot and I just kind of sit there. Super nice guy. I'm being very friendly. His wife comes over and offers, would you like a soda? Would you like a drink of water? And my usually go-to joke is like, you know what? I basically, it's not happy hour. So when they offer me water, I'm like, well, I really shouldn't be drinking it. So if there's no hops in there, I'm okay. And the daughter comes in and goes, well, he's got some hops now. And I fucking lose it. This guy has a half a leg. And she goes, he's got hops. And I look at him to see
How
what,
old is the daughter?
14, 15 maybe.
Oh.
And I look to see what the mood is, and he's chuckling. And he turns to me, he goes, you think... He turns to me, he goes, you think that's bad? She changed her ringtone to me for, you see me rolling, he hated.
That's funny.
I cannot believe this family is just leaning into amputee jokes.
It's amazing.
So good.
I would have gone with the timer. It's just a jump to the left. And then...
The worst is one of my go-to stupid jokes, I didn't make any of these up, is, what do you call a guy on the floor? Matt. What do you call a guy on the wall? Art. What do you call...
Great PT humor.
What do you call a lady with one leg?
What?
Eileen.
That's great.
What do you call a guy with no legs? Neil.
Eileen was better.
What happens when you throw Neil in the water? He's Bob.
That's pretty good.
Anyway, this is like shtick, but you don't do this.
I'm aware this is shtick. Didn't get much stickier than this.
Looking forward to next week. The Rolling Stone just released their top 100 television shows. I was thinking, do you want to do like a picking our 10 favorites from that 100? Because you're going to put like the Critic on there and Dr. Katz.
Dr. Katz is okay. Duckman, strong show.
It's not on the list. You have to pick from the Rolling Stone.
Okay, fine. I'll pick you. Okay. I'll play your game, you rogue.
Pishadoo of the week, Zacharias. I got 9 candidates for today.
I got 1. And it makes me nuts. But you go.
Candidate number 1. This happened right after last week's episode. Remember, did you hear DeSantis dropped off a bunch of immigrants up at Martha's Vineyard? Which, yes, that was a terrible part of the story. Do you know why they signed their lives away to go to Martha's Vineyard?
No.
They were promised a $10 gift card to McDonald's.
Your Scottish restaurant. By the way, there's a real problem with the Big Mac. Apparently, it's not worth itself. It's like, due to inflation, it's only valuable in this country. It's overpriced everywhere else. I actually read a stupid article about this today. How it is not worth the money everywhere else.
Yeah, this is what they use when they say like the cost of a Big Mac elsewhere. That's how you generally, like, we watch these travel shows when we're going to a country and they say a Big Mac will cost you.
Eat Big Macs elsewhere.
I don't eat Big Macs. You know I'm a double fish guy.
Yeah, and you had it in Greece, you fat ass.
It wasn't a fat ass. I wanted not in. You've been to Greece. All they have there is gyros and seafood. Seafood and gyros and jug of wine.
Yes, well, they have all that. So how was your Mickey D's?
It was fine. Candidate number 2, Harry Styles just broke some record at MSG. 15. Am I keeping you, sir?
No, I'm on no sleep, man. That fucking little midget in my bed kicking.
Don't call Jenna that. Yeah, exactly. So Harry Styles just played 15 straight shows, and MSG is putting a banner up for him, where Fish had played 13 in a row, and Billy Joel has... Enough with giving banners to not sports teams. And that's coming from a Fish fan.
Yeah, it should only be Billy Joel for that. Nice Jewish boy who plays there every week. Like, I find
once
a banner.
You've been, obviously, right?
What?
Billy Joel, you've seen?
Yes, many times.
Yeah,
Zoe to see him. She loved it. What did you see? Terrible?
No, very good. I enjoyed it a lot. I didn't know most of the songs. I know like nothing but the hits. I know the hits. Candidate.
Zoe knows the deep cuts.
Number 3. Thursday Night Football last week was...
Brett Favre better be one of Rockets. Last week I named Brett Favre.
Oh, he's in reruns.
I called Favre out for embezzlement.
I have looked into more of the Brett Favre story. It's way worse than I thought it was. There's text messages where he's like, "Yeah, but you could just the guy he's trying to the guy who he's scamming is going. Wouldn't that be illegal?" And Brett Favre's like, "Yeah, but like in text message.
Yeah,
he should go to jail. It's really bad.
He should go to jail for wearing raincoat jeans."
Cleveland Browns hosted a game last week. Did you watch the Thursday night?
Some of it.
Did you see how they start off the game where they bring out a celebrity and then because it's the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, they let them break a guitar to kind of start the game off where they put the Pittsburgh Steelers logo on it?
No.
It drove me crazy. I thought it was so cheesy. It's like the people who bang the drum. Like, enough of this.
Cat's eating.
I can hear. Candidate number 4. Last week we were feeling lazy, so I decided to get frozen lasagna for dinner. Just something quick, something easy, get her done. The serving on the back of the box, a lasagna, a rectangular lasagna, it said, 230 calories per serving. Cool. 5 servings in this box. Riddle me 5 servings in a square.
Stouffer's is getting fat on you.
What do they want me to do? How do they want me to cut 5 servings? One in the middle?
No, they don't. They want you to eat the whole fucking package, but feel okay with it. It's like, it was only, I don't know how many servings it was. They're trying to tell you that it's not a 9,000 calorie lasagna.
Oh,
so that's why they do it that way. Was it 1 serving? Be honest.
It was 2 servings. We split it. And
It's me.
It's Uncle Zachy. You can tell me.
You can tell me. It was 1 serving.
They do it for your mama.
Yourself.
Play with your cocker balls.
Exactly. They just want you to not feel so fat.
Candidate number 5. Your boy, if there ever was one, Mr. Keith Hernandez, officially out for the rest of the year because he heard a guy who talks for a living hurt his little baby shoulder and can't do any more talking about the Mets.
Yeah.
Not good.
I sort of agree. Like, dude, yeah, you're going to need a sling or a cast, but you just have to sit there and talk.
He's just got to get there, and he could, I don't get
Essentially, I tore my thumb up. I was a pain in the ass. I could speak. I could sit. I wore a cast. It's the same thing. You tore a ligament. It hurts. You should miss a couple games, and maybe a series. 3 games.
Yeah. Or a week. But to be out for the rest of the year with a throat?
They're going to need him for the Braves series. They're going to need everything they can get for that series. I've looked at how much fights cost to Atlanta. They're not much.
Candidate number 6.
It's crossed my mind.
They're doing something with Jeopardy. I didn't quite get the whole story, but the Jeopardy truthers are really mad about this. They're basically trying to add a bonus for people, and I don't even think it's a part of their score, but they want to add in something where if you get all 5 questions from a category, then the person who did it gets a bonus. And people out there are so upset.
Hate it.
Oh, then you're the asshole. Why? Who cares?
I care. Purist. Don't mess with something that's working. Hate it.
Next candidate.
And I don't want Ken Jennings. I want Blossom every day. And then I'll watch Jeopardy.
Segue. Another Ken, Dorsey, has gone viral for the Buffalo Bills. You didn't see this? When the Bills and the Dolphins, the whole play, the end of the Bills and Dolphins game, the guy didn't get out of bounds, and they go up to Ken Dorsey of University of Miami fame for being the one asshole in that team.
Years ago.
Right. He goes on a tirade, it's worth watching, where he is just slamming a notebook over and over again, which is like, rip it up, throw it across the room, but taking a piece of paper and banging it on the thing, it was almost like it was scripted. It looks so stupid.
Oh, okay.
All right. Next candidate. I was at a friend's house this past weekend. We'll call them the Big White Buck and his lovely wife, who are so kind to host. They did a great job. I don't want to put them out there. I'll just tell you that they have an empty fish tank. You met him at the bachelor party.
I know who he is. He's big. He's white. He's great.
I didn't make that up.
Who's faking me?
The guy who says Pishadoo is the one who made that up. Huh. So we're at their house. They have a fish tank with no fish in it. And I just kind of stop and I go, I think your fish ran away. It's just completely empty.
Ran away.
And they tell me, well, we don't have fish because we've been having a problem where they just keep dying. And I'm like, oh. She goes, but don't worry, we keep bringing them back to get our money back. And at which point I'm like, wait a minute, that's like a goldfish. How much could this cost? She goes, oh, no. We are buying the like $10, $15 fish. She goes, but they won't take the fish back unless you actually bring it. And I just sat there like, wait. So she goes, well, of course, you're supposed you flush them down the toilet. She goes, so what we've been doing is putting the dead fish in the freezer, waiting until we have a couple of them, and then we take it to the store.
That's
Zach,
That's psycho stuff.
I'm not done. So I'm now going like, by the way, they're pretty comfortable.
Seriously, why did you have 9 candidates?
9 what?
Why are there 9 candidates?
Because I added one on at the end.
This is it.
I saved the best one for the last.
This is it.
So I'm sitting here going, they're very comfortable living. I'm sitting here going, who cares about the extra money? And then she goes, well, the worst was we forgot about one bag recently, and I took something out not knowing what it was, and it was the dead fish. They had dead frozen fish in their freezer for God knows how long. And I'm just sitting there going, what in the hell?
So that they can return it?
To get their money back, yeah.
That's the cheapest thing I ever heard in my life. Like
$10 fish.
This is the guy who asked who's staking him. He made plenty that night. He could buy a bunch of fish. You're an idiot for buying a $10 tilapia. The rest of it is just insanity. Like, get a dog. I don't know. Like, what kind of koi fish are these?
I have no idea. Last candidate, just because I forgot about it. Anybody who you're having a text message conversation with and they don't have the decency to say anything back, they just like the text or ha the text, and you get a whole message that goes, I have a message from Zach, and I open it and it's just Zach saying, Zach liked your message.
Thumbs up. It's passive.
I was seething today driving.
Just because it bothered you. I don't do it to anybody else. I do it to bother you. Or like when I'm done with a conversation, like if
it's a good conversation. I use it for that.
If people are like sending me like memes constantly, I'm not going to keep giving them ha 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 or ah ha ha because it'll continuous forever. That's when you get the okay ha ha on the generic. I find Pishadoo of the week, and they're there today, and they were at the Yankees Red Sox game, the Dodger game. Those assholes from the movie Smile. You seen these dicks?
Oh, it's a scary movie I saw.
That's the least of it. The scariest thing is that Paramount is now planting the people in the front row of baseball games.
Always.
To sit there for 9 innings like this.
Oh.
The entire fucking game. And it says Smile across. Yeah, that. 9 innings. It's like one was doing, and a guy goes like this in front of her face for half the game. Yeah, it's so fucking creepy. This woman is the Met game. It's beyond. And she was at the Mets A's game. Yeah, I think she's like a Jewess from it. Yours isn't as bad as hers.
Do you want to play a game?
Yeah, pretty much.
Jesus.
That's pretty much what's going on now. You want to play a game? They're losing to the Marlins.
DeSantis lures.
I hate these people.
DeSantis lures migrants with $10 at McDonald's.
The big white buck and the fish in the freezer is so far away. The dumbest, most awful thing I've heard in probably a month.
Not great. Zach, did you see my teaser for today's episode?
No, I was dealing with a dinner guest.
Florida is about to get pounded by 16 inches. I'm assuming you heard of this?
Yes.
Which is Zach's idea of a fun weekend.
I texted a friend of mine whose name is Ian, a Hurricane Ian thing with the inches, and I asked him, where are you measuring from? He goes, the base of the storm. He has it ready to go.
Today, I'm going to be measuring your knowledge of Ians.
God. Let's
bang this up. Question number 1. The pride of West Orange, New Jersey. Ian Ziering, who should be Ian because that's what it's spelled, broke out playing Steve Sanders on what hit 90s show?
That's not even it, is it?
Yeah, is that Lisa Loeb? What are you doing?
It was Doogie Howser. Is it?
90210. Question the second. Sir Ian McKellen plays the role of whom in Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit?
Oh, I thought you were going to ask who his husband is. He's Gandalf. And he's Magneto. Nice Jewish boy in X-Men.
Question the third. I saw that. British actor Ian McShane plays the iconic role of Al Swearingen on what hit HBO show?
At least you asked me the show because I couldn't have given you the guy. It's Deadwood. But
Never saw it?
The guy's name. No, I wasn't a fan.
Zach, his character says cocksucker every other word. It's so good.
And that's appointment television?
The show was the first 2 seasons were great. The third one in the future in the movie where you could skip.
Okay.
Question the fourth. Scott Ian is a rhythm guitarist and co-founder of what heavy metal band?
Anthrax.
Very good. I was going to give you the clue of also an infectious disease.
And also a nice Jewish boy.
Is he?
Yeah.
I only remember him from those 90s shows with his massive goat.
Yeah.
And last, On September 1st, 1996, my friend Ian had his bar mitzvah, causing me to miss going to what iconic game at Memorial Stadium?
At Memorial Stadium.
September 1st, 1996.
Because the Jeffrey Mayer game was in Yankee Stadium.
Iconic.
So, iconic. Oh, Ripken. The Ripken game.
You were supposed to say that. That's actually September the 6th, my parents' anniversary at Camden Yards. The correct answer was the Ravens' first ever NFL game.
Ah.
I still have the uncut tickets at my parents' house.
Uncut. Not Jewish.
Boozer Daddy the podcast. Thanks for listening to tonight's episode. Started off a little rough, but we pulled it together by the end, I think.
It great. She gave me a platform. You're going to laugh when you see it.
They've decided to let Rihanna sing the halftime show at the Super Bowl. What is your favorite Rihanna song?
I don't know. The one where she sings and dances. I couldn't tell you any of her songs. I know them when I hear them, but I don't know the names.
You're supposed to say, Yellow Diamonds in the Night. Or the Umbrella song.
Oh, I hate that song.
Under my umbrella.
Awful.
Correct answer is We Found Love with Calvin Harris.
She's not for me. I don't know. I'm sure she's fine, but I have like TLC and Vogue and Sisters with Voices. I don't need her.
Sisters with Voices.
Yeah.
We out.
That's QV.